Hello everybody and welcome back to Going Medieval. As always, I am Door, and today we are going to do a whole lot of planning today. We are probably going to leave the game paused for the majority of the episode, but I want to go ahead and lay out a bunch of buildings here because we need to go ahead and rearrange some of our stuff here. We can go ahead and shove the smokehouses into the kitchen, so I want to go ahead and rearrange that. And looking through the tech tree, I don't think there is any more cooking related unlocks that we are going to get, so I think we're fine kind of setting up a finalized little kitchen here. We do have some other recipes and stuff we can unlock. We have this thing, but I don't think this goes into a kitchen. It's to make the healing kits and stuff like that, so we'll have to go ahead and make one of those eventually as well. But I want to go ahead and set up a dedicated kitchen, so I'm probably going to go ahead and put it somewhere right here because the Great Hall is right here, so we can have them making the food and then hopefully going over here and eating. I also need to go ahead and drop our storage thing down because none of this is staying cold enough to not be going bad anymore. So I don't know if this has been happening the entire time that we've had this thing set up because it's still there. Even the bodies are starting to go bad, and I never had torches in this side of the storage room. So I don't know if it's having an effect because the Great Hall or the storage thing and the Great Hall are like so close to it that the heat from the braziers is somehow penetrating through the floor and heating up these rooms now. But what we're going to go ahead and do is use this to go ahead and store random things that we probably have excess of that we can't fit into the storage room up here because we do have some of the stuff kind of backlogging, like the sticks, for instance. They're kind of encroaching on other little storage piles right now. We're going to go ahead and use these to make a whole bunch of the traps though, so I'm not too worried about that right now. But we're going to go ahead and drop this thing down. We're going to go into this thing. We're going to go ahead and dig let's go another 2 out from it, and then what we'll end up doing is dropping that down. So I think the staircase is 3, or we're going to go 2 out, and then we're going to go down 1 more, and then we're going to use that to drop a staircase down to the very bottom of the map. So we're not that far off. We're literally one staircase out from the bottom of the map because I guess we were like right on the bottom of it. Even though we picked the mountain map, I thought we'd be higher up in the air, but I guess we're not. We just have hills and stuff around us. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna have these guys dropping down, digging that thing out, and then we can go ahead and set up the schematic here for the kitchen. So we're gonna go ahead and use the limestone walls. I'm almost done building the walls for the outside here that we started. I completely regret ever using that stone type as the building material here because our people are so occupied with other things here, they don't really build those things all that much. And this wall is just about done as well. We have a few more things there, but it's going to take forever for them to even finish that stuff. So I mean, we kind of regret doing that, period, but so far we haven't had too much issue. We've only lost 2 people to the bandit raids, so it's not the end of the world here. But anyways, the kitchen here, we're going to go ahead and have it set up in a way that hopefully utilizes enough space to have all of those items in it. And we're going to do a single door, I think, and then let's see if that's big enough to go ahead and have all the stuff in here right off the bat. That's great. So we're gonna have 2 of the limestone things in here, and I think we're gonna stick with the limestone variant because we don't have those bricks to begin with. So we're just gonna stick with the one that looks like it's made out of cobble, and we're gonna have 2 of these in here for right now because we have multiple recipes that they don't actually cook them. I thought they bounced between the 2 of them, so I had the first one and the second one set, but they never made the secondary meal. They always made the first one. They never like swap between the 2, so I removed that one and just put it into the campfire here. But the campfire cooks things slower. It only has 100% production speed versus the 120 production speed that the hearth has. So we're gonna put 2 of those in there, have them making 1 of each. We might even throw a 3rd one in there because we do have that recipe we can go ahead and make eventually. And then we only need 1 of those tables in there, so we're gonna have 3 of these in there, I think. Yeah, just to go ahead and kind of future-proof it, I guess. And then we're going to have 1 of those and then 1 of the smokehouse things as well. So that's all we're going to have in here. So we can have 2 of those on that side of the wall, and we can have the smokehouse in the center of those. Something like that should work. And then we need a butchery table and then another one of these stone hearth things. So let's go ahead and actually put the door probably... Man, I kind of want to just put a double door on everything just to go ahead and keep that 2-space gap thing going on because it kind of nice having that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Never mind. We'll just put a double door and we'll be fine with that. So we'll go ahead and place that there. So we have the entrance to this thing, which I can't see the little indicator on. So let's go ahead and place that down again so we can see where that ends at. So that actually ends where the door would be. So let's actually scoot this one back to where the door would be as well. So what did I just have there? A butchery table. And that can go ahead and hang out there. And then we need another one of these stone hearths to go ahead and hang out over here. And what we'll end up doing is leaving that 2-space gap that the smokehouse takes up, and then we'll end up putting the two little things on the wall that we need to put in here. The, what was it, the pots and pans thing, the pottery thing is what we need in there. So we'll go ahead and put that on the little gap there. Okay, so with our kitchen here, what I want to actually do is remove this wall, and I hope this actually works and it doesn't count it as some big open room like it was counting the other thing. But what I want to go ahead and do is actually drag this out one more on the side here so that we have room right there on the end, and I want to go ahead and drop this down so that we're actually able to go ahead and connect the kitchen into our underground storage that we're going to have the food. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see, that's only 3 wide and I think it's 4 wide, right? Yeah, no, it's actually 3 wide. Okay, so we will go ahead and have this as the floor that we can actually come up and meet on. So we'll do that. And then we'll drop this one down. Where's my mining tool at? There we go. We'll drop that thing down. And then we're going to drop it down again. I think we should be able to do that once we get underneath the road here. We might not be able to. I'm not sure yet. Worst case scenario, we have to come back and replace the flooring, I think is what's probably going to happen there. But we'll go ahead and have them do that. Let's go ahead and throw a roof on this thing. We're going to stick with the roof type that we've been doing. And we are going to go... Actually, let me not do that yet. Let me actually see which way the roofs are facing on these guys. They're facing the long way here. So let's go ahead and actually have it going the same way. So that should work, and then we're going to have that dig down and connect into our storage, so that's going to be fine. And then we can go ahead and set up a big workshop that's going to have every one of the tables in there that is actually going to benefit from being in a workshop, so we can go ahead and do that. Okay, so actually I think I messed up here on the kitchen because we can't have the smokehouse in there because I just looked at the setup here, and on the setup it says it has 1 stove, the wall pottery things, and a butchery table, and it can't have any other workstations or shrines or beds in it to count as a kitchen. So if we take a look at the other kitchen that we have set up right now, it doesn't count as a kitchen anymore because we have a little campfire in there, so it's canceling it out and not counting it as a kitchen. So I think what we need to go ahead and do, actually let me check. Yeah, we have both of the pottery things in there. We actually need to go ahead and take out the smokehouse because apparently that can't be in there. And I don't know if having 3 of these stoves in there is going to actually count as a kitchen, or if it's gonna like cancel itself out and not allow us to count that as a kitchen. So we're gonna try the 3 in there, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. There's not much I can do about that, but that means we can go ahead and scoot these things a little closer, right? We don't need a 2-space gap in between these guys. And then with those scooted forward, if the staircase down doesn't count as a separate thing, we can go ahead and wall that off and put a door, and hopefully that kind of separates it out so it counts as its own thing. And now we can go ahead and lay down where we want our workshop at. So in the workshop, I think we can have everything in there. We don't have anything kind of canceling itself out. Which one's the workshop? The purple one. And these ones over here count as workshops, even though there is, I believe there's 3 stations in this first one, and then there's only 2 in that second one, so it's still counting. It doesn't have a limit to how many of these things in there that it can have, so I'm kind of hoping this one has that same effect here. But we're going to go ahead and have the workshop somewhere over here. We're going to try and cram everything into it, and I kind of want to go ahead and place it where these things are right now, so we might actually want to go ahead and build our secondary apartment complex here and then tear this thing down and replace it with a big workshop so that they're kind of close to the stockpile here, because I don't want to put it over here and then have them walking that distance to keep getting back here over and over again. So what I think we'll do is probably that, right? And then on this thing here, on the other side of the kitchen, we'll go ahead and place the library so that we can go ahead and have a few more of the little tables in there so that we're making a bunch more of the knowledge things so we can go ahead and research a little more. So I think that's what we'll end up doing here on this side. So let's actually have the limestone pathway separating the buildings here, and then we'll go a little bit out like that, and then we will go ahead and have another building probably a little bit smaller than this building here, but let's go ahead and just set the perimeter there. And we currently don't have the second tier of researching tables done, so let's go ahead and do that really quick. And with that, we can see how big it is. So it is a 2x3 little section, and then this one is just a 1x3 little section. Okay, so we don't need it that big. We can go ahead and have 2 of these tables and 2 of the other tables. So we'll do 2 on that thing, and then we'll do a little 2-door entrance. Yeah, we'll do a 2x2 entrance as well. So we'll have the other one here like this, and then we'll have the research 1. Oops, research 1. right there, and then that way we can have the doors coming into it, and that should be fine. So something like that should be great, and then we can wall this off, and then we can go ahead and place the things on the walls here, so that's fine. So let's go ahead and close that off with some flooring, and then I guess for right now, right, so we can kind of decongest our storage capacity on that side, we could actually go ahead and have a storage room on the back side of this building just to go ahead and act as a secondary storage thing. And then what we'll do here as well, because this is a 7 wide area, we'll go ahead and have a staircase down so that we're able to go ahead and have a secondary storage down low as well. So something like that as we have in the kitchen. So we'll go ahead and mine this little section out, and we'll go ahead and floor off this room so we can go ahead and have stuff stored in here, hopefully for a while without going bad. And I think we can actually place these things on the invisible walls here. So we need the bookshelves in the library here, so that should go there and there. And then in the kitchen, we need to go ahead and have our pots and pans or our pottery things. And then we need a roof on this guy before we forget and go do something else, and it's going to not ever get completed. So let's go ahead and do that now. So that should be good. And then we'll go ahead and move the stockpile here. We'll clear out an area on the bottom here to be even more books, because we are pretty much at capacity here already, just about. We have a couple more slots left, but we'll make that a book thing. We'll make the bottom one a book thing so they store, and then we'll probably end up going down again and or making the room bigger down there to go ahead and store even more stuff. And then actually on the back side of the kitchen here, let's actually add an extension to it so that we can put a smoke thing in there and then put the brewery thing in there, and then we'll probably put whatever else we unlock eventually in here as well. We don't have them right now, so we can't really gauge how big we need this, but we'll go ahead and place that stuff there. We'll have the door here, and we'll only do a single door so we don't eat up so much wall space in here, but we'll go ahead and place down the smokehouse in here, and we'll place down the brewing station in here as well. So we'll go ahead and give this a little space gap there so they can actually get in there still. And we'll put the brewing station on the corner here because that's also a 3x2 little thing. And then I think that's all we'll put in here for right now. We should be good. I don't think there's anything else cooking stuff related in our unlocks there. And the reason I didn't put the door on this side of the wall here is because I don't want it to do what the Great Hall did and count this as one big room and then not allow this to turn into a kitchen. So I figured we have the door there. That way they can go in here and make the beer and the smoked meat if they want. So that way it's not interacting with our kitchen at all, so we don't run into any issues. Okay, so now the fun part here. We're going to go ahead and lay out the blueprint for our apartment stuff, and we are going to go with let's go with the limestone stairs, and we are going to go ahead and go 2 out from our berry bushes, so we have a little walkway in between there, and then we're going to go ahead and start there. And the reason we're going up here is because I want to go ahead and have all of the apartments up off of the ground here, and we're going to leave the underground bit here kind of exposed. We're just going to have the little support beams like that, and then underneath here we're going to try and leave it so that we can actually plant or make these areas into storage, because it's going to be covered from the elements so that we don't have any issues kicking in. So hopefully this kind of works. And I already tried to test this out in another save here because I wanted to go ahead and have these things spaced out to the point where we can actually have the flooring down and not have to have random ones in the middle like that, so we don't have weird things going on. So we need to go ahead and have these things spaced out by 6, because if we do any more than that, the flooring misses bits in the middle here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So every 7th one, we have 6 in the middle. Every 7th one is where the pillar is going to go. And then we're going to do that this way as well. So something like that should work. And then if we go ahead and just test this really quick, so I am certain before we actually go and lay out a whole bunch of this that this is actually going to work. So we're going to have it like that, and then we are going to go ahead and use the cobblestone or the limestone flooring, and then if we do this, the entire floor should be there and we're good. And if we go ahead and expand that out by 1 on each thing here, so there's 7 air spaces in between the pillars, it's going to leave the middle here not with any flooring, and then we need to go ahead and put pillars or something down to go ahead and actually allow us to place those things there. So we're going to go ahead and leave that like that. That's how we're going to go ahead and do this. And then we are probably going to go out one more section here because I want to have a little 2-space walkway around the building here, and then we're going to start building on that platform there. So let me go ahead and lay out a few more of these things because it's going to take a second here to have all of this down, and then all of this probably won't get built for quite some time here. So we're going to have 6 spaces and then another one and then another 6 spaces and another one there, so that should be good. and then it's just rinse and repeat of placing these things down and then keeping the same little spaces here every now and again. So we're going to do one more out this way. I think we might run into issues here because we have these buildings here. So yeah, we're going to run into connecting with them. So let's actually do, oops, that's the wrong one. Something like that. And then these two we'll leave alone for right now. And then this one needs to come out to here. And already we might run into issues here. Actually, nope, we should be good because we can't plant on the stone anyways. So that's fine. Okay, so for right now, we'll leave it like that, right? We need to tear down this building so we can go ahead and actually fill in the floor there. So we kind of have to unpause it for a second for them to process that stuff through. But I guess we'll go ahead and leave that alone for right now. We need to go ahead and place down all of the little wooden beam stuff so we can have all of the flooring and stuff connected in. And I don't think this interacts with the farmland, so we should be good. And we can't place that one there, so we need to go ahead and do these ones, and that should be okay. We're going to go ahead and connect these guys together, even though it's really not going to have any effect on the building capabilities here, but this should go ahead and allow us to have one big platform up off of the ground, so at least we have a bunch of dry storage on the ground here. We're going to put flooring down here as well to go ahead and allow us to store stuff, because again, we we built this big old thing and it's really not that much space in there, so we're going to have limited storage in here, and then we'll have other things underneath this building here, so we can kind of double or triple our storage at least. And then we can go ahead and fill in the flooring here, so that can go there. We need to go ahead and do that stuff too, but we really can't at the moment, so that's going to go there. And then we might end up going out one more little section here so that we're 3 deep on that, as well as 3 deep here, or I guess 2 deep, right? But 3 pillars wide. So we have 6 pillars wide here, so we might as well go out another couple here to have it even. Although it's going to be really, really massive, and I don't think we actually need that much space. I think this little double thing is going to be more than enough space for us to have the things we need in here. So on the top here, we are going to go ahead and have that 2 space gap. So let's go ahead and place the walling down, and then right on the end here. And then if we place some temporary walls that we can see where the edges are going to be. Actually, no, we went one too far out here, so let's actually clear that. Okay, so with that little issue fixed, we can go ahead and lay out the rooms now. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to go ahead and stick with the 2x3 little room areas here. We don't really need to go ahead and try and maximize on placement because we don't have that many people. We're probably not ever going to have this many people that this little platform is going to store, but at least we'll have the rooms for it if that ever happens. So what we'll end up doing is having it that big, right? And then we can go ahead and cut the wall off here, and then we just need to go ahead and put a separating wall down every other one here. So something like that should work. And if there's an even amount here, then great. If there's not, then we'll probably cut this middle bit out and split the rooms into sections like that. And hopefully we can do that. So actually, no, yeah, we're good. This is an even amount here. So we have, what is that? 9 rooms on this little layer here. And then we'll probably end up making this a 2-story thing in itself here. So if we were to have this room here, can we do a 2-space gap and then have the same thing going down that way? So we need a 2-space gap on this side, and I guess we can use this little platform as an example because we don't need the whole strip here. As long as we can mimic this thing here, we should be good. So we need that to go there, and then no, I can already see that we don't have enough room to do that. So what if we did go ahead and expand this thing out one more layer so that we have more room to play with? So it would go there, and then we would go there, and so on and so forth, so that we're lined up with everything else. Okay, so with another layer of the bottom platform in here, how much more space is left in the middle if we go ahead and space it to where the rooms start on this side of the thing, and then we have a room laid out like that, another, 3 spaced, and then the wall goes there, and then we would have basically an entire little platform spaced in between here. But then if we go ahead and have a 2-space gap on both sides, we only have a little, like a 2x2 little room going down the center there. So we might be able to go ahead and turn that middle bit, even though it's a little 2x2 area, we might be able to go ahead and squeeze a few of the little game tables down so that they can actually play this thing during rain time, because we can go ahead and space out the pillars to go ahead and allow us to put a roof over the top of it. Although I don't know if this has to actually be in a room or not, because I don't think it actually has any effect in this room over here. I think it's just that it's in a room and they're cool with it. it. Like, it doesn't give it any bonuses to it or whatnot. So I think that's probably what we'll end up doing. We can even probably get rid of these pillars because these rooms are a little close together. As long as they're within 10 of each other, we can go ahead and actually have a wooden beam connecting them. So we might be able to get away with that, actually. So if we place that, yeah, we can. Okay, so it is going to let us do that. So we can actually have a few of these throughout this little spacing and then have the tables in between here. And then that kind of increases the space that we actually do have because we would have a 4-space gap there instead of the 2-space gap. And then we can place these things down even though they're not even numbers. I thought they were a 2-space thing in the middle, and then they would have the chairs on the sides there. Dang it. But anyways, yeah, we can have that spaced out there down the middle and then have a bunch of these tables so they can go ahead and play these whenever they want to. And then it'll just kind of look a little janky because it's a little off center there, but that's going to be fine. And then what we can go ahead and do is have the doors and stuff on the inside here so that the outside is kind of a wasted space area, but it should be fine. We'll have all of the doors on the inside and we'll go something like that for right now. I don't know why I can rotate sometimes and sometimes I can't rotate. Okay, whatever. We'll have the doors there anyways. We can't rotate it for some reason, but that's fine. And then we'll end up having the beds on the corner and something like that. Let's have the pillows facing that way. So that utilizes that whole little 3-space gap there. And then we can go ahead and have a torch above the bed. So something like this. And we'll have a stone brazier in the corner to go ahead and heat these rooms up, because with the torches alone, I think it's only during winter time, I think it's only like 40 something degrees, maybe 50 something degrees. So they go to bed chilly. They wake up happy because they're not freezing, but they are still cold nonetheless. So we'll have the rooms set up like this. And then I think that's all we'll ever end up having in these beds, because currently in the game, I don't think there's really much else we can put in the rooms to make them any happier. So for right now, that's how we'll have the rooms laid out. For right now, we'll have 9 on there and then 9 down this way. And as we fill in this area and tear out this building, we'll go ahead and probably make this a 2-story at some point down the line as well. But for right now, I think that's probably all we'll end up doing. We'll probably end up having to tear out this building because we need to go ahead and make the room to go ahead and allow us to do that. So I said in the beginning we weren't going to unpause, but we actually do need to unpause and let it run through. We're probably going to skip a whole bunch of time here because it's the 1st of summer right now, and some of our people may end up dying in between here. We're probably going to have a raid or two, but I want to go ahead and have this stuff processed through a little bit because I want to go ahead and set up the underground thing, and we can't really do that until we get this secondary staircase done to kind of see where we're going to have these guys meet up at, because right now I think this is the staircase down to this level, or no, that's not even this level, that's the level before this. So we're going to probably have this staircase double back and then loop around a little bit and stuff like that. So we need to go ahead and actually unpause it, let it run for a little bit to go ahead and actually have this stuff kind of get squared away, and hopefully we don't have too many people die. Hopefully we have some new people show up, but I'm going to go ahead and finish off the blueprinting of the apartment complex here, and then we should be kind of okay. Okay, so we are making some progress here. We have the library storage thing right here going down, and we kind of started the secondary storage thing underneath the main room there, but I haven't had them dig that out yet because the priority is the food storage right now. So I have the kitchen going down and connecting into a tunnel that connects into the storage that's already here, and then we have the staircase going down to where we are currently digging out the last remaining area. We can't go any deeper than this. It is telling us that this is bedrock if we try and dig that little bit there, so we can't go any deeper. So this is as low down as we can go. Oh, we also just got a new person as well. Adam over here is a new person, so I went ahead and put a bed over here, and hopefully they turn that into a room for him for the time being until the rooms over here are built. But over here in the bottom bit, we're going to try a little 6x6 room instead of the 5x5 room that we had, so that way we have a bit more storage capacity. I don't want to go too big because I don't think we necessarily need that much space, but this is going to be the finished product, right? This is going to be the meals and stuff going into this room here. And then if this isn't big enough for us going forward, then we'll go ahead and make it bigger every season as we need it. But I think a little 6x6 little room right here is going to store just enough food for us because the stacks are at like 30, I think. So that's going to be a ton of food if we're ever able to go ahead and actually fill this thing to capacity. capacity. And then we can't really go right with it because we're going to interact with the tunnel here. And I don't know if putting the floor panels down act as the walls do, like if it's going to keep the heat from the tunnel going into the food storage or not. So I don't want to actually go too far that way. So what we're going to go ahead and do is go up and away from it. And then looking at this, it's actually not even. So I guess we're going to go 7x7 at the end of the day here instead of the 6x6, just so that we have that one little tunnel bit we can go ahead and get off of it. So we're still going to leave this as the main storage meal thing. And then we're going to go ahead and dig out 3 so that we can have an airlock in between. I don't know if that actually has any effect. It really didn't seem like it had any effect in this area here, but we're going to go ahead and do it regardless. We have it going into the main room. We're going to have a double door going into it. So we're going to have a double door separating the raw products from the finished meals. And then we're going to do a 7x7 here as well. And then that's going to be one pocket of the food. And then we're going to have another one here. We're only going to do a 1 space gap in between the raw products here because we don't really need the airlock going in between the 2 of them, I don't think. And again, it probably doesn't do anything. So we'll do that, and then we'll do another one on this side as well so that we have a ton of storage capability going in for the raw product, especially since we have a ton of berries coming out of our farms here. So that can go ahead and be that. And then we can go ahead and connect those 2 together with a little doorway in between here. And then that's 3 sections worth of storage capacity for the finished or the raw products there. And then down here, what I want to go ahead and do is we're going to punch a hole through the door here. We're going to do a double thing there so we have a double door going through. But right here, we're not going to have a big storage capacity because over here, I want to go ahead and put a kitchen so we can go ahead and have the cannibal kitchen up and running, since we never really got around to doing it here because we had bodies in there and we couldn't actually put anybody in there. And then we had these guys go in there. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe we don't put a kitchen here because I don't know if that's going to have any effect on heat generation down here. So actually, let's go ahead and put the kitchen up here like we were going to do to begin with. And then we'll just go ahead and have a 7x7 little storage thing down here for the bodies. So that way we can have them down here as well, because right now these rooms are kind of fluctuating because now these guys are okay. They're not too hot, even though we're in the middle of summer, or kind of in the middle of summer, right? We only have 4 days left. And then the fruits over here are still decomposing because it's too hot in here. So, I mean, the temperature's there's only like a 3-degree difference in temperature, but I guess that's too hot for this stuff to stay good. And I don't know what's causing that because this used to be good. So hopefully by putting it all down here, we kind of eliminate that being an issue. But we're going to go ahead and have the raw products here, the vegetables and all that. And then we're going to have the bodies getting stored in this little section here. And then we'll have the meals going there. And then we have plenty of room to go ahead and expand out more storage for the vegetables and stuff if we need that eventually, if this thing can actually keep up with our demands here. And then we might even go this way a little bit just to go ahead and expand the meal thing if we need to do that, because we have, I think, what is that, 3 or 4 tiles here we can go ahead and expand to the side to add some more space to this. It just will make it a little uneven, but I think that's going to be fine. And then we need to go ahead and let them process this stuff through, and then we can go ahead and set those things in motion, but I don't think they're going to finish that anytime soon, especially not today's episode. But we can also go ahead and have them break down some stuff here. So we have the brewery thing in that room. We need to go ahead and put down another 2 of them in here. I totally spaced on that. So we're going to expand this room a little bit as well to go ahead and have them be able to make those other 2 wine things here. But we can go ahead and have them tear this building down because this no longer needs to be here. So let's go ahead and have them do that like this. And no, that's canceling it, not tearing it down. My bad. Let's go ahead and have them tear it down. There we go. And that should go ahead and be taken care of in a minute. But we can go ahead and expand this thing because we're not going to be able to fit the 3 breweries in here like we thought we could. I totally spaced on that when I placed this stuff down a minute ago. But we can go ahead and have this one up against the wall. Actually, no, we can't because the interaction thing is right in the center of the brewery. So if we put it there, it's going to block this one from being used. So what we can go ahead and do is actually expand this wall out a little bit here. So let's actually tear this little section down. So walls only should be good. And then that should go ahead and toggle these guys. And then that's going to knock the wall down, or the roof down as well, because I think the support's going to disappear from it. And then we can go ahead and let's go out a couple, and then we can kind of gauge this. Okay, so there we go. So now we can go ahead and try and plan out the rest of this room here. So let's go ahead and place those back. And then we can go ahead and place the brewing station right here, if I can get it to spin the right way. So we'll go ahead and space that from that one. And then I guess we'll do the same thing on this side, right? We can have one there, and then the 3 of those, we'll go ahead and make 1 of each of these guys. And then this thing only has 1 recipe. So then we have some room right here on the back side of the wall, or the front side of the wall rather, to where we can go ahead and place down the other things as we unlock them. So the chemistry table is probably going to go in here as well. The fermenting thing, which I think is just a recipe in 1 of these guys maybe. I'm not quite sure where that goes, but we don't have any of the secondary research books researched just yet. So we can actually close this thing off now, and we should be good with the way that's going to function. And then I think this thing counts as a kitchen, so we could have 3 of those in there, no issues. So if we toggle that, yeah, so this counts as a kitchen. I went ahead and put a door down here to try and see if maybe we can cut this off, because I don't want the storage room to count as a kitchen, so there's no point. But once the door's here, hopefully it cancels out the kitchen highlight thing that's going on, because it cancels it out from right here. All right, well, I think that's actually going to go ahead and be it for today's episode. We have the apartment complex 2.0 under construction right now. Hopefully that gets up and going in between episodes here, so that we're actually able to go ahead and tear down the old one and replace it with a dedicated workshop, so we can have all of the work tables in there. And then next episode, hopefully we can go ahead and get that up and going, and then also start focusing in on getting the defenses up and going, so that we're actually able to damage the raids that come in and not have our people take the brunt of the damage. And then that way we can kind of start making our fortifications where we need to, and then maybe expanding our farms here. We're going to have probably a ton of berries going, since we have a ton of the dirt that we can actually plant that stuff on. But that's going to go ahead and be it for today's episode. So hope you guys enjoyed as always, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.